Facebook Live, but I wanted to make sure that I was all you folks on YouTube. So if you don't know it, I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida, although right this second, a little bit south of there, in the little Manatee River State Park. I hiked down one of the trails about a mile and a half, till I got to the very end, and took a little off trail, and I'm on a quest for, and I'm literally hit, there is no trail, maybe a few wild hogs, found a snake or two, but I'm looking for some wild guava out here. And so far I found some sour orange, some small ones, some big ones, and I think I may snag a couple of those just to bring them back. And I'm looking for some spiritual herbs to harvest for some folks. And I found, just found some lizard tail. Doesn't have the telltale spike on it. And that is some small, I may have just stumbled into the mother lode. So I see some very small guava trees. I don't think there's any fruit on them, but where there's little guys, there's big guys. And looks like a little elder. And I might even see some young honey locust trees. I'm going to switch this around so y'all can see what I'm looking at. Boop. Hopefully I just pressed the right button. This is lizard tail. It doesn't have this telltale sterile spike coming off of it, but it's always in shady areas and in swampier kind of areas. We have it grown at the school there. But I just spotted this. Is what made me come over this way. There is a bunch of what I assume to be sour oranges. There's a big clump of them. There's some further over. So I'm going to snag a few of those, and I'm going to check this tree. That looks an awful lot like honey locust. But there's a couple of other lookalikes here. So this is, nope, it's a vine. So this is not what I thought it was. So we're going to go around. I'll keep my eyes out for those. And I'm hoping that we still find some of the oh so elusive. This will now be, I think, my third or fourth time out here. The very first time I came out here, found a huge grove of the guava, super yummy. I hadn't found them in the wild before and got super excited about it. But I was definitely wandering off trail, just having fun, tromping through the bushes, and never found my way back to that spot again. And I came at other parts of the year, and I found a few small trees, but not the grove I had found originally. And I haven't found any fruit since that first time. But that first time was right around this time of year. It was right around the holidays. And we had ended up, I was coming out to do an herb walk. I had scheduled my day off to do an herb walk for our local chapter of the American Herbalist Guild on their annual camping trip. And it got canceled the last minute. So I was like, you know, what the heck? I got the day free. Let me go ahead and have some fun and go explore this park, because I hadn't spent a lot of time in this park. So I've been having a lot of fun exploring it. But this one particular region has definitely caught my attention. Look at those beautiful little babies. I think we're going to grab a couple of these, put them in the backpack without the old man's beard. I'll torture some people back at the school with these. There's a stomped on pokeberry growing down there, a little guy. And there's my little creek. I've crossed over this creek like 3 or 4 times now, but found a really large banded water snake in there. But he was probably as big around as my arm, big old head on him. But I do believe, it was hard to tell, but I think he had his tail chopped off, because he looked like he should have been about 4 feet long. And the reality was, there was a head, there was a body, and then there was nothing. So, go here. Accidents happen in the woods, without a doubt. All right. Let's see. This is a huge grove of these little oranges. It looks like it goes back another 20 or 30 feet. So I think I'm going to circle around back the way I came. That looked like easier traveling. If you don't know, this is a lot of saw palmetto. And this is where we get our saw palmetto berries. Oops, that's not saw palmetto. I lied. Oh no, it's got a pointy tip. Half of it's, oh, look at that. There is a bunny rabbit somewhere nearby. There's bunny poop. It's all about the poop. Um, sorry, that's an inside joke for all my herb students. We're constantly, I won't say we're obsessed by people's poop, but it tells us so much. So we're constantly asking about people's poop. And we have lots of bad puns, like let your poop be your guide. That's so weird. There's this, oh, I see. So this is blue dayflower, a pretty little blue flower. It is edible. It is medicinal. It's a Chinese herb. I totally don't remember the pinyin name for it. But the Latin name is Comalina. This is more citrus. It's got a very distinct bark, oftentimes big spikes on it. Looking to see if it's a different type. I'd found either all the really small, slightly sour ones, but as I was wondering earlier, I found the larger, really sour ones that like sour, and I couldn't handle that. And so I gave that back to the hall. There's a lot of what's called Caesar weed out here. And Caesar weed, this is it here. And I don't usually talk about invasives that much. I mean, obviously everywhere's invasives because ultimately we're invasive and we bring invasive species with us. But in the case of Caesar weed, it really is a bully. And it does crop out a lot of our native species. Whew, I thought that was a snake for a second. Ha! That was close. Wasn't, but in my mind it was. And the Caesar weed really takes over huge plots of land. I'm covered in its seeds right now. And it's one of the ways that it spreads, it attaches to people. And it does have use. You can eat the young leaves. They're a little rough to eat very much of it. The flowers are edible. It is in the mallow family. And let's see if we can get across here. I thought I saw some leaves that might have been my little happy guavas. See if we can find a way around this creek. I've crossed this creek twice now. Ooh, this one I don't think I need a log to get across if this is some solid mud. We're fixing to find out. So, yay, it's antimicrobial. Everything's a little antimicrobial if it's green. That it makes really good cordage. I think this is going to be kinder on my body if I go this way. So, and it's funny, there's a lot of different ways to make cordage. See if there's any water gators or alligators in here. I don't see any critters. The water looks surprisingly clean. Not that I'm going to drink it, but almost looks clean enough to be called spring-fed. If I need to, I can go across this log. It's usually my jam, but I think this is going to be a little easier. This looks like little raccoon prints, or maybe even an otter. Those look like otter prints down there. I'm a huge fan of otters, even though they'll rip your face off. They are so cute as they rip your face off. Oh, and I was going to stop and look at these. So this, couple of plants here. This, oops, did I lose my connection? I bet you I did. Welcome to live chat. Yay. Oops. Why? There we go. All right. So sorry you guys lost the feed there for a minute here. It's pretty much everywhere. And then this is dollarweed, frequently misidentified as cola. It is not gotu kola. Gotukola is centella spa. There's Asiatica, there's Rectus. When we look at the dollar weed, completely different genus and species, and no relationship. I might be in the same family, but I won't swear to that even. All right, what did I see over here? Maybe that way. At least this is some new territory. Ooh, I see some mushroomy looking things over here. I've only seen a few out here, even though this is prime mushroom time in Florida. This is through here. This is resurrection fern. You hear about some spiritual uses for it just because it's freaking cool. Ooh, something is biting, stinging me on my knee, through my pants. But this looks very dead. A few hours after it rains, this will be vibrant and green. I suck at mushrooms. Sorry, I know my plan. All right, let's see where the heck I am here. I don't see any leaves that look like my quest. Oh, up the hill again. So that might be, I just broke something. There we go. That looks a lot like, oh yeah, it totally is. I don't see any flowers or berries on it, but that is, I can't remember. All I can remember is the inappropriate name for it. Fairy, women's issues, grows all up and down the eastern seaboard in Shanier territories. Oh, I haven't found it in a while. Starts with an M. Oh well. Open the camera. Open camera. Open camera. Why are you not opening camera? Whoops. There's my camera. Can I reverse my camera? There we go. I'm not sure why there's no chat. Oh, wow, I got these things in my hair. You know, I almost always have my little hat in the car. Oh, what happened to it? I didn't see it today. There's a tree over there about 20, 30 feet. It may very well be some of what I'm looking for, some of the guava. I don't see fruit on it, but next to it is, whoops, I gotta turn it back the other way. See those spiky things? This is hog plum. This one's looking pretty good. This was one of the plants I was going to harvest. There's no fruit on it, but I'm harvesting it for more spiritual work because of the thorns. So I got a couple people who had requested that, and you need a particular age of plant to get the best thorns. It's a little bit better in the spring and fall, but if you find the right plant, they have at least an inch long spiky thing on there. It can be used to remove things on your body that are not wanted, not by actually sticking them in you, but more mimicking the movements as if you were drawing things out. These jeans are going to be trashed by the time I'm done. All right. Let's see where I am. Wow, how's it already been 15 minutes? Well, looks like I got somebody on there. I have no idea whether you guys can chat or ask questions or whether you see anything that I'm looking at. I haven't worked enough with the YouTube Live. So this is my mad experiment. And I will say, my goal is to shift over. I've been doing a monthly, last Friday of every month, I've been doing a Ask Me Anything kind of thing. You can ask the herbalist. And I've been doing it since COVID. I've been doing it, I'll let you all see my smiling face. Since COVID, I started doing it, but on Facebook. And I kind of feel bad. I would upload it afterwards to YouTube. I feel like y'all kind of got the short end of the stick on that. Wow, these are really nice hog plums. All right, that bodes well. So I decided in the new year I was going to do a test run for a bit on YouTube, see if people show up the way they did on Facebook, and give that a shot. And needless to say, an easy way. Woohoo! All right, I just made myself dizzy. Whoa, that tree really likes me. There we go. The moon thorn bush is to make sure you follow on the school's YouTube page so that you get an alert whenever I come on to do a live feed. Alright, that's a small little booger. No fruit on there. But where there's small ones, sometimes we find a big one. Oh. Ba, ba, ba. Where are you, Mr. Guava? I think the forest decided to taunt me by showing it to me one time just to keep me coming back. I come and say hi to it all the time. Every once in a while it's going to tease me with the mother lode, like it did that first time. Sadly, I forgot to save some seeds from all the guavas that I brought back. I brought a few to share, the local kava bar. A couple people brave enough to try the tasty treats, because they look a little different when you find them in the wild, a lot of times. So, I feel like I'm close by. No, there was one particular drought. Man, there are some thorns that are biting me. There's one down tree. It was massive. It was like 15-foot root base. That I happened to climb up onto and have a little snack that first time through. And I was kind of staring out on the landscape. And that's when I spotted the fruit all hanging from the tree. And so it's always that tree that I look for to climb up on. But the trick is to find that same down tree. Man, so many wait a minute vines. All right, we're going back down again. It does like a little bit wetter feet. Mixed in with all of this is some small guava trees. I almost took a header there. That's not the fun way to go through the trees. I have to stop for some water, get my bearings. I think I'll walk a little bit further. You know, anytime you're walking through these palmettos like this, you do have to stomp a bit. The snakies do like the palmettos. Let's go that way. Boy, look at all of the vines trying to rip my flesh. Whew. I don't know what that bush is. There's my creek. Ooh, beautyberry. Look, oops, you can't see that. You're facing the wrong way. Beautyberry, no berries on it, but it's really fragrant. And I will say, despite it being winter time, the bugs are out here. So I'm going to stop for a second and rub a little bit of beautyberry on me. Switch hands. And if you don't know it, beautyberry is a great insect repellent. Works better than DEET. And it is not a neurotoxin. It's actually a cough suppressant, antimicrobial. And I did see some berries on a few earlier. The trick to using beautyberry successfully, of course, is because it's just rubbing a leaf juice on it, is to reapply often. And so I put it a little bit on when I first got out here and the bugs started buzzing around. It was time to put another dose on. There's a ilex, probably not a Yaupon holly, but a Dahon holly. You can, oops, we got to reverse that. It's a huge tree. Oh, there's a good shot of it. This is actually my guava, but no, it's too small for any fruit. I'm seeing a couple of stands of small ones like this. You see the little red berries on there. So up or down? I think I'm seeing more down. Oops. Put you back on me. Oh, there's a little pepper grass. There's my swamp. Alright. You can, well, no, you can't see. So there's little boggy mud puddles along here. Some beautiful ferns. But none of these are big enough to make fruit. Ba, ba, ba. I need to find a nice little clearing or down tree to sit on because I'm going to take a break. Hopefully something will materialize here shortly. Got a couple of brave souls along for the ride here. Ooh, there's a big old puddle. This is a different puddle than I've seen before. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Oh, a little froggy in there. And surprising, well, I get excited when I'm in marshy territory. I look for a couple of things. One, of course, is bacopa. We have plenty at the school, but I like talking about the bacopa as a focused brain herb that goes really well with gotu kola. It's my primary herb, but I don't see it, oddly enough, because this would be perfect terrain for it. And the other thing I always like to find out here, and again, usually in a wet area like this, I would find tons of it, is the Apios americana, where groundnut, which was one of the very first export in the Americas before we did things like tobacco and sugar cane, and before the advent of the slave trade and its ugliness. And it would, every time there was a storm, they would find them sticking out of the banks, and it was kind of like a string of potatoes. Super yummy. That looks like a nice place to take a break right there. Super yummy, kind of like smoother than an actual white potato. And so really silky flesh on it, but sweet like a sweet potato. And any of you tagged along for my 100-mile little excursion of living off the land last spring, that was one of the things that I found on like my third or fourth day. I found a bunch of the ground nut like that and was so excited to get, it was some of the very first starchy food that I got in me, and was ecstatic and like slept like a champ. Okay, I slept really well every night out there. But the slept like a champ. and really got a nice burst of energy from the carbohydrates for the first time, because after then I was just really eating some yummy greens, but kind of boring. All right. Well, if you don't know, Bob Linde. I am trekking through, not on the trail, in Little Manatee River State Park, in a mad quest for my stand-up guavas that has eluded me so far. I found a few very small trees, found some sour oranges, found some other cool plants, but not that for which I seek. So I'm going to sign off here and take a little break. And I don't know, I'll jump on here, I'll jump on Facebook or something as soon as I get a apple in me and a couple of sips of water. And follow us, Tradition School of Herbal Studies. Check out our website, sign up for our email letter. Don't forget, New Year's Day, I will continue my tradition in the park down on the south side to do a free herb walk, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. For all those people who don't stay up too late and party too hard, come start your year right and learn about all the food and medicine that's literally at our feet. Bye, y'all. Now the question is, how do I turn this off? I don't know. It's not going to tell me either. That's really funny. Okay, maybe I won't sign off. I have no idea how to turn this damn thing off. Ba 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 ba. Nope, nope. I don't want to start a poll. Close. I'm assuming that's what it is. Nope, that wasn't it either. Da, da, da. Nope, I'm just gonna shut it down. And there we go. Yeah, yes. Want to stop streaming? Yes. Did that work? No, no, it didn't.